Now, I want to call out a little bit of hypocrisy before we go any further, because despite Kim Kardashian apparently being livid with Kanye West's support of Trump, in May 2018, she would pull a Kanye herself, joining Donald Trump for an in-person meeting where she asked him to pardon Alice Marie Johnson, a 63-year-old grandmother serving life in prison for a first-time drug offense.
7 months ago, I saw a story on Twitter, and it was about a great-grandmother that just tugged at my heart.
In 1997, Alice was sentenced to life in prison without parole for her role in a drug trafficking operation in the Memphis area. It was a first-time nonviolent offense. That came after Alice faced tough moments in her life, including, she says, divorce, job loss, and the death of her youngest son.
Kim and Trump would pose together for a photo op in the Oval Office following her attendance of a summit on prison reform. And she would go on to praise Trump for listening to her pleas for Alice Marie's freedom.
I think that, he really spent the time to listen to our case that we were making for Alice. He really understood, and I am very hopeful that this will, turn out really positively, I hope.
Only a few weeks later, Trump would commute her sentence and eventually give a full pardon, freeing Alice Marie Johnson from prison.
Caught in what was obviously one of the great joyful moments of her life, Alice Marie Johnson rushing into the arms of loved ones freed yesterday after 21 years in federal prison, sentenced to life on drug charges. Kardashian West lobbied the president on Ms. Johnson's behalf, and yesterday he commuted her sentence, citing her good behavior and rehabilitation.
Did you know the name Kim Kardashian?
I didn't. I did not know her name. I didn't know Kim. As soon as I found out who she was, I started getting every magazine I could find. I started reading everything that I could about her. And everyone was amazed, and I was amazed too.
This was an amazing achievement, and frankly it's the least that Kim could do after her pops got OJ off. But for all the good it did, it would be a strange example where Kim's association with Donald Trump would be seen as positive. Meanwhile, if Kanye expressed the slightest support for Donald Trump, he would seem to be admonished by family and friends alike and accused of having a breakdown. This is something that even Kim alluded to in a CNN interview on the topic.
You've endorsed him in a way, you've kind of given him legitimacy. You might be in a campaign video, he used you.
I think Kanye's already given him legitimacy, so I don't, in that way. So I was working on this before, so I don't think I would be used.
Mm-hmm.
But this hypocrisy didn't stop Kanye pursuing his interest in politics too. But not before settling a few scores in the music industry first. Once the dust settled on Kanye's Ye project, he was back online and back on smoke. Now, for this video, I'm specifically avoiding any mention of Kanye West's long-running feud with current king of pop rap, Drake. Partly because I've already done a separate extended video breaking down all the details of their feud, and partly because this video is long enough as it is. But at a certain point, Kanye's issues with Drake played a small and embarrassing role in the ongoing friction between Kanye and his own wife Kim. Because in June 2018, Drake drops his hit song In My Feelings, sporting a chorus with the lyrics, "Kiki, do you love me?" Now the story goes, the Kiki that Drake is talking about is actually another woman from his past completely unrelated to Kanye or Kim. But at a certain point, fans and foes alike begin to suggest that the Kiki that Drake is talking about on the track is actually Kim Kardashian. And perhaps in the midst of their competitive musical rivalry, Drake was alluding to have had some sort of affair with Kanye's wife Kim. It's never been revealed whether or not there's really any truth to this. But what we do know is that the rumor certainly got underneath Kanye's skin, with Ye taking to Instagram in September with a scathing rant pointed at Drake himself.
Now the next thing is with Drake, the fact that it's people making rumors or thinking that you fucked my wife and you're not saying nothing and you carrying it like that don't sit well with my spirit. If I had a girlfriend from Chicago, her name was Renita, and then you was married to Rihanna, I wouldn't make no song called Riri. So when you're like, oh, I don't know where it come from, you too smart for that, bro. You know where that come from. Don't make no record with nothing that could be confused. But when you played that record for me in the studio that said, yo, we got some Kylies, we got some Kendalls, I did tell you not to do that. So period, it's like, don't speak on nobody from my family, nothing that could be even mentioned with my wife. Period. We don't have to talk again.
Clearly, Kanye had a lot of insecurities about his relationship around this time. And it wasn't just Drake getting on his nerves either. As rapper, TV host, and comedian of Wild 'N Out fame, Nick Cannon had also dated Kim Kardashian back around 2006 and 7. And in September 2018, Nick Cannon actually spoke to DJ Vlad in an interview about Kim's surgeries, explaining that when they were together, Nick had told Kim that she didn't need any surgery and she was great the way she was.
And I remember she didn't like her nose, and I'm like, yo, you're beautiful. it's unfortunate, man. Like, because to me, that's all insecurity and not really loving yourself for who you are.
And so, following this, during that same rant where Kanye went at Drake over the lyrics from In My Feelings, Kanye would address Nick Cannon's comments too.
First of all, I want to address Nick Cannon. Like, I understand that you used to date my wife, but you get in an interview, don't mention my wife. If someone brings my wife up, you say, hey, I respect that man, I'm not speaking on that. Don't be making no suggestions like nobody fuck my wife.
Nick Cannon would respond after getting off a plane, welcoming Kanye back from the sunken place, and inviting him to talk face to face on his show Wildin' Out.
First off, let me say, welcome back, Ye, from the sunken place. It's a beautiful thing. Glad you back with us, brother. Nothing but love and respect for you. I always had that. But I honestly gotta say this, my dude. I've never said anything disrespectful or harmful to your, in my opinion, to your marriage or your union. I salute it. Keep it going. But you're not gonna tell me what I can and what I can't say. I'm a solid individual. Somebody asks me a question, I'm gonna answer it to the best of my ability. I'm gonna give my opinion. You're more than welcome. Let's talk about it, man. You come on the show that it's all love, man. Like I said, I ain't say nothing disrespectful, but we can have a good time with this. You know what I'm saying?
With Nick Cannon later saying in an interview with Big Boy that he believed that Kanye was just dissing him for attention.
He's a master at manipulating the media. It's Yeezy promotion, you know what I mean?
Once again, it all begun to appear as if Kanye's online behavior was getting slightly alarming. And soon enough, we would see Kanye doing that one thing that everybody had feared would happen again, as Kanye would dust off his red MAGA hat, deciding that it was again time to get political, much to the disappointment of fans and family alike. With Kanye posting up on Twitter wearing the MAGA hat along with a caption that read, "This represents good and America becoming whole again. We will no longer outsource to other countries. We build factories here in America and create jobs. We will provide jobs for all who are free from prisons as we abolish the 13th Amendment. Message sent with love." And at the end of September, Kanye appears on Saturday Night Live as the musical guest, appearing in promotional clips, still wearing the red MAGA hat. After his musical performance, whilst wearing the red MAGA hat, Kanye went on a political rant in support of Trump, even claiming to have been bullied backstage.
You see, they laughing at me. You heard them, they scream at me. They bully me. They bullied me backstage. They said, don't go out there with that hat on. They bullied me backstage. They bullied me. And then they say, I'm in a sunken place. You want to see the sunken place? Okay, I'm going to listen to y'all now. Or I'm going to put my Superman cape on. Because this means you can't tell me what to do. Follow your heart and stop following your mind. That's how we're controlled. That's how we're programmed. If you want the world to move forward, try love. Thank y'all for giving me this platform. I know some of y'all don't agree, but y'all be going at that man neck a lot, and I don't think it's actually that helpful. I thought this country said I could be me. I love me too.
Donald Trump himself would even respond to these antics with a tweet of support for Kanye, saying, "Like many, I don't watch Saturday Night Live, even though I past hosted it. No longer funny, no talent or charm, it's just a political ad for the Democrats." But word is, Kanye West, who put on a MAGA hat after the show, despite being told no, was great. He's leading the charge. However, not everyone was impressed. A week later, SNL cast member Pete Davidson would comment on Kanye's appearance in a Weekend Update segment on the show, saying just how embarrassed he was.
Kanye said after he went off the air last week was one of the worst, most awkward things I've ever seen here. I'm on the left, I'm like, oh God. And then I'm like, I want a career, so I leave. Do you know how wrong about politics you have to be for me to notice? I made this. Make Kanye 2006 again.
But from there, Skeet Davidson would go even further, telling Kanye he wasn't just embarrassing himself with the red hat, but also, his wife.
And he started by saying people backstage tried to bully him into not wearing it. He wore it all week, nobody told him not to wear it. I wish I bullied you. I wish I would have suggested that, it might upset some people, like your wife or every black person ever,
Pete continued his savage tirade against Ye, telling him to take his meds and saying there was no excuse for his behavior.
Kanye, I know you're like, yo, this is the real me. I'm off the meds. Take them. Being mentally ill is not an excuse to act like a jackass.
A scathing and fairly funny assessment of Kanye's state. But funnily enough, this was only the latest in a string of anti-Trump, anti-Kanye reports which Pete Davidson had delivered from the Weekend Update desk.
Well, now anyone thinks they could run for office. Like, even Kanye thinks he could be president. He's been saying he loves Trump and is going to run against him. Like, he heard people saying this was the greatest threat America's ever faced, and he was like, no, I'm the greatest. Like, we as a country need to agree that if it isn't over a sick beat, we don't want to listen to anything Kanye West has to say ever again.
And I'll tell you what, I am certain that Kanye watched those reports and vowed revenge on Pete Davidson. But for now, he would just continue digging a deeper hole for himself. As following Trump's tweets of support for Kanye wearing the MAGA hat on SNL, on October the 11th, 2018, Kanye West would meet President Trump once again in person at the White House, this time for an on-camera sit-down conversation that lasted a whopping 20 minutes. This interview/meeting/insane rant was a historic moment in culture and politics, so much so that it even ended up appearing in a history textbook. And over the course of the interview, Kanye West touched on a number of hot-button political issues, many of which he spoke real sense on in my opinion, particularly America's lack of support for mental health and its role in contributing to inner-city violence, as well as calling to bring manufacturing back to America from China.
We got rid of the mental health institutes in the 80s and the 90s, and the prison rates just shot up, and now you have Chirac. There's a lot of things affecting our mental health that makes us do crazy things that puts us back into that trap door called the 13th Amendment. When we make everything in China and not in America, then we're cheating on our country. And we're putting people in positions to have to do illegal things to end up in the cheapest factory ever, the prison system.
And while I don't have time to break down the entire interview in this video, the media would naturally focus on some of the more negative or unpolished aspects of Kanye's appearance. Because littered in between strokes of genius were moments of madness where Kanye said things that would be difficult to agree with or understand. In fact, the way that he spoke, just ranting directly at Trump for 10 minutes straight, without a breath or break for Trump to get a word in edgeways, really made things come across much more like a one-sided rant rather than an actual discussion. And when Kanye did pause to let Trump speak, he seemed completely baffled and unable to come up with a response.
To have to do illegal things to end up in the cheapest factory ever, the prison system.
I'll tell you what, that was pretty impressive. You know, I hate to say this, Jim. Do you want to say something? What do you do after that?
During this speech, Kanye would rally against Saturday Night Live for making Trump look bad, saying that the president should be made to look like the freshest person on earth.
What I need Saturday Night Live to improve on, and what I need the liberals to improve on is, if he don't look good, we don't look good. This is our president. He has to be the freshest, the flyest planes, the best factories.
Kanye would even be confronted by a reporter about his differing opinion to Trump on the stop and frisk policy, leading a flustered Kanye to call Trump bro.
Trump has said that he favors stop and frisk. Are you guys going to be discussing that? Do you think you can change his mind?
Yeah, we're gonna discuss. I didn't mean to put you on blast like that, bro, but it's definitely...
I'm open-minded. I'm here.
Kanye would go on to call himself a crazy MF, and advising Trump to change his campaign slogan to Make America Great and drop the again.
To have a crazy motherfucker like Kanye West run up and support, but best believe we are gonna make America great. I made a hat that says Make America Great. All we have is now, all we have is today. So the word again, it doesn't hurt us because we need to focus on who we are now, today. I believe.
In the end, despite it being hard to follow and extremely unpolished, Trump seemed satisfied with the clout-charged photo op that Kanye had given him, telling Ye that he was welcome to speak anytime he wanted, even signaling his support for a future presidential run.
He can speak for me anytime he wants. He's been a great guy. He's a smart cookie. Smart. He gets it.
Is this a future presidential candidate?
Could very well be.
Only after.
Could very well be. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
The meeting ended with an unplanned hug that looked like it had Trump's security detail about to go all DaBaby on Kanye.
I love this guy right here. Let me give this guy a hug right here. I love this guy right here.
Yeah. Come here.
This appearance was iconic no matter what your opinions are on Trump or Kanye, and you can't deny that it made for one of the most interesting moments of news of the past 10 years. However, yet again, not everybody was happy at seeing Kanye don the red hat across the table from Donald. We already know from his comments during the meeting that Kanye doesn't appreciate the comedy stylings of Saturday Night Live, and with that in mind, it was absolutely no surprise that following the meeting, SNL were the first to jump in and mock Trump and Kanye, with a sketch spoofing their meetup releasing just days afterwards. Now, I'm not sure exactly what happened behind the scenes between Kanye and his family following this appearance, but only a couple of weeks later, Kanye would come out on Twitter saying that he was distancing himself from Donald Trump, tweeting, "My eyes are now wide open, and I now realize that I've been used to spread messages I don't believe in. I am distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative." Going on to drop further tweets thanking his family for supporting his actual beliefs, without mentioning Donald Trump specifically. Now, weirdly, conflicting reports came out soon after this. Initially, within days of those tweets, some papers had reported that Kim Kardashian was allegedly furious at Kanye for quitting politics, suggesting that the family had already invested millions of dollars on Kanye's political ambitions. But then, a couple of weeks on from those tweets in November, Kim came out telling Van Jones on CNN that she was the one who had educated Kanye on Donald Trump's policies after he'd visited the White House, saying that really Kanye just likes Trump's personality, and seemingly taking credit for Kanye's withdrawal of political support for Trump.
We have very similar politics. He's very not political, actually. He just happens to like Donald Trump's personality, but doesn't know about the politics. So, I've educated him recently. And
But weirdly, while Kanye was withdrawing from politics, Kim was leaning in. After her success early in the year helping Alice Johnson with her case, Kim Kardashian would turn her attention to the next big political injustice, Meek Mill. Yes, in November 2018, Kim Kardashian would meet Meek Mill along with philanthropist Clara Wu, no affiliation to the Wu-Tang Clan, at a Los Angeles hotel, where they would apparently discuss criminal justice reform. This meetup seemed from the outside to understandably fit in with Kim Kardashian's ongoing efforts to do what she could to improve America's criminal justice system. However, Kanye West would have other suspicions. Who knows if there was any truth to this, but he would later tweet during a 2020 Twitter meltdown that he thought that there was something untowards going on between Kim and Meek Mill during this meeting. Perhaps there was some truth to these allegations, or perhaps he was just triggered by the hypocrisy of Kim admonishing him for dabbling in politics, while she continues to pursue her own political ambitions with clandestine hotel meetups with other rappers. It also probably didn't help that following this very meeting, Meek Mill would also come out publicly saying that he too had unsuccessfully tried to convince Kanye not to meet with Donald Trump, going as far as to say that Kanye's meeting with Trump was a mockery that Ye simply was not prepared for. Regardless of what the real reason was, Kanye was apparently livid with Kim after she met with Meek Mill, later revealing on Twitter that it was this meeting that led Kanye to first consider divorcing Kim, which only foreshadowed yet more trouble in the relationship on the horizon. Later on that same month, Kim Kardashian would appear on Ellen, hinting again towards Kanye's jealous tendencies, saying that Kanye gets upset about her sexy photos, but she's not bothered about how he feels.
You know, we do little impromptu photo shoots just for Instagram, but I wasn't walking around baking like that. And you can get in trouble with your husband sometimes over too many photos like that.
Oh, I was going to ask if Kanye, if that bothers him.
Yeah, it does.
Perhaps the pressure and jealousy was getting to Kanye around this time, because at the end of 2018, he would have yet another Twitter breakdown, taking aim at long-running rival Drake once again. And if you want to know the full background on this, you can go and check out the video I've got about Kanye and Drake's beef, and Drake's beef with Pusha T, which Kanye got dragged into. But long story short, Drake had accused Kanye of being the person who told his arch nemesis Pusha T that he had a secret child. Both Kanye and Pusha T denied this version of events, and in December 2018, Kanye would call out Drake for being fake, apparently being triggered after receiving a message saying that Drake was looking to clear an old Kanye West song sample on a re-release of an old Drake track that was headed to streaming services. From here, Kanye would go on a Twitter tirade against Drake, saying that he's still expecting an apology from Drizzy for dissing Kanye's 350 sneakers in what he saw as an attempt to take the food out of his children's mouths. Going on to tell the world that he believes Drake is two-faced for dissing him on songs, and texting his mother-in-law Kris Jenner, asking how is the family around the same time. Kanye would go on to tweet ominously that both him and Drake could pay to have something done to each other, seemingly alluding to more threats of violence between the two being made offline. At a certain point, Kiki Kardashian herself would even pipe up on Twitter, telling Drake not to threaten her husband. And then, something strange happened. as pop superstar and Pete Davidson's ex-girlfriend Ariana Grande decided to capitalize off the back of Kanye's trending Twitter meltdown, using the trending topic to promote her new single with Miley Cyrus, with a tweet telling Kanye to have a break from his mental breakdown to let the girls shine. Kanye would clap back saying that he is going through mental health challenges and that Ariana Grande should not capitalize on the back of it to promote her new song. This prompted Ariana Grande to apologize and delete her tweets, which then ironically prompted her disgruntled ex Pete Davidson to come out defending Kanye for standing up for himself and speaking openly about his mental health online. Who'd have thunk it? Skeet defending Kanye. But anyway, once the beef had settled on the Kanye-Drake beef on Twitter, with Kiki seemingly showing the world that she would not be riding for Drake, from here it seemed like Kim and Kanye would continue working on their relationship and moving forward positively. And in the months that followed, both Kim and Kanye would be in the media for a myriad of reasons, both good and bad. On Christmas Day 2018, Kanye would show Kim just how much he loved her in the most bureaucratic way possible, buying Kim major stock positions in a bunch of large companies.
Then I opened the next box, and it is stock to Amazon, where he got the gift cards, stock to Netflix, stock to Apple, hence the little headphones, Adidas stock, and Disney stock.
And then in January 2019, Kim and Kanye's slimy old buddy The Game would be back once again to shake things up, releasing yet another spicy song snippet, reminding the whole world once again that he had engaged in oral intercourse with Kim Kardashian. Not sure how Kanye's gonna feel about that one. Also in January 2019, on frequent Kanye collaborator Kid Cudi's birthday, his buddy Pete Davidson takes him out for a lovely birthday dinner at Malibu restaurant Nobu. Apparently Kanye and Kim showed up out the blue, joining them at their table and ordering everything on the menu. Yes, Kim was there, even being the photographer for photographs that included both Kanye and Pete. And Pete Davidson would later claim in an interview that he ended up getting shafted when everybody left the dinner, leaving him with an enormous bill. But clearly it didn't seem like there was any significant beef between Kanye and Pete at this point, and perhaps Pete's recent tweets supporting Kanye West, speaking openly about his mental health, had made up for the fact that Kanye might have felt slighted when Pete had dissed him for wearing the MAGA hat on SNL. But regardless, at least for now, Kim and Kanye had survived each other's respective political battles, and despite still having some relationship issues beneath the surface, Kim Ye would continue into 2019 united, even welcoming yet another child into the family. And from here, Kanye would spend the next year finding his religion and doing the best that he could to bring his family and his career closer to God.